Hello everybody, in today's video I want to show you how to create effects in your DMX console to use your Nexus fixtures. If you haven't seen the last video, in the last video we had a look at how to create your network using your bridge, your fixtures, and the app. So if you haven't seen it, make sure to go back and have a look. Link will also be in the description. But now that you've set up your network, let's go into programming mode and let's have a look at how to create an effect. One thing I want to say at the beginning though, if you've ever used your app to create an effect, all of this will look very familiar. And I'll go into detail about this a little later. For this example, I've patched one fixture. And the reason I've only patched one fixture is because in the back, I've set all of our fixtures to mode 5, which is our 22 channel effect mode, and I've set them all to address number 1. And the reason for this is, well, it's quite simple. I want to create matrix grid effects, which is this right here. I want my effect to be mapped over all of my fixtures. Now, this will also work if you patch all fixtures individually, but of course, eventually you're going to be limited on DMX channel count. So for this example, even though I'm not limited by DMX channel count, for simplicity reasons, I'm only going to patch one fixtures. The benefit here is also quite simple. I can map all of my fixtures in the app. I go under settings, network, group and fixture positioning, and right there I can map all of my fixtures quick and simple. I can create effects in my console to map them onto the individual fixture, which would look something like this, or I can map them onto the entire matrix grid. Let me clear everything. If I select my fixture and I turn up the dimmer, well, you'll see what happens. All of my fixtures will turn on. That's pretty straightforward. But now let me go under my first subfixture. We have a couple subfixtures, but let's start off with number 1. Number 1 is my plate. In this subfixture, I can set the effect type I want to create. So let me turn up the dimmer, and now under effects type, I can select my effect. And one thing that you will notice right at the beginning is that every effect is in there 3 times. I have pixel fixture effects, I have pixel segment effects, and I have pixel group effects. And pixel fixture effects is what I showed you before. It's an effect mapped on the individual product. Segment effect basically means it will map it to the individual segment. And pixel group effects, well, that is what I showed you before, which is our matrix grid, mapping them to all of our fixtures. And that's what I want to show you how to do right now. I'm going to scroll down until I have pixel group effects, and I'm going to choose pixel group effects wall right, which is the one you saw before. And now I've selected my effect and, well, nothing's happening. Why is nothing happening? Well, because all of my subfixtures, which is FX1, FX2, and FX3 are all white, meaning my effect is currently running all white. So you won't be seeing anything. To change this, I'm going to select my first layer, which is FX1. I'm going to make this red. I'm going to select FX2. I'm going to make this blue. And FX3, I'm going to make this green. And now you see the result. That is the effect I had before, which is my wall right effect over all of my fixtures. But what if I only want to use red and blue? What if I don't want a third color? I will select FX3 and I will go under the second global page, and under state time, I'm going to turn this down to 0. And now I've gotten rid of my third color. And now the effect is only working with red and blue. But you're probably asking yourself, okay, why am I removing state time and not just turning off the dimmer? Well, let me show you what happens when you turn down the dimmer. Let me put it back for 20 seconds and let me just pull down the dimmer. And as you can see, the effect is still there. Your color is still there. The color is just black, which means it's off. So if you only want to have one color, or maybe you only want to have 2 colors, you need to change pixel timing. So let me turn off pixel timing completely from FX3. Now let me go under FX2 because I want to have more blue than I do red. So to change that, I will go under state time again, and I will change this now, for example, to 80 milliseconds. And as you can see, now I have more blue than I do red. But I'm still not quite happy with this. I also want to change my fade time because I want the red to fade into the blue. And now you can see that my red is fading into the blue. This of course also works if I use FX1 and I change the fade time here to, for example, 80 milliseconds. I will also have a complete fade. But I still find this effect very boring. So what do? Well, let's go back to our main subfixture, which is going to be the plate. And under the first Gobo tab, I now have a couple of more options. I have speed. I can make the effect faster. I can slow it back down again. I can also choose to which group I want to map this effect. And this is quite interesting. In the app again, when you're under group and fixture positioning, you have your main group, which is your all fixtures group, and then you can add different groups to this. One fixture can be in multiple groups. This is your choosing. So if I want this effect to run maybe on all of my fixtures, or I only want it to run in group 3, for example, I can change it right here. Group 0 is your all fixtures group. That's the default group. And then you can add up to 7 groups, which you can select from in your console. But I'm going to keep it at group 0 because that's where I've made my matrix grid at the moment. Effect type, we just went over this. This is where all my effects are in. Effect variation changes the way my effect looks. I'm going to choose variation 4. And as you can see, my effect now tilted to the right. Under the second Gobo tab, I also have one more option, which is size. I can change the size of my fixtures, so I can make it smaller so I can see more. So there you go. Now you know how to create effects in your console, using your console, but also using the app as a backup. Remember, the app makes it a lot easier for you to set up all your mapping. And also, the benefit, like I mentioned before, you don't need multiple bridges, multiple universes, and need to patch every single fixture in your console. Everything can run via the app, and just let the network do its job. And keep it simple for yourself in the console. If you have any questions, drop them down below, and thank you very much for watching.